Bonjour, I'm Homer Austin Mandoka, Indishnakas, Potawatomi, and Dow. Nadawasipi, Huron Band of the Potawatomi, Nishnabek, Debendagwas, Ahau, Miigwech. Congratulations! We are gathered today, December 19, 2015, to honor our 20th anniversary of federal recognition by the United States of America. While an event of this magnitude can mean many things to each of us, one thing is for certain. We are living in an era that makes our grandfathers smile. Mishomis, Sho Miigwen. The resiliency of this tribal nation strived to adopt a constitution in 1978, strived for federal recognition in 1995, strived for lands and trust in 2006, and we strived to open Firekeepers Casino in 2009 and strived to eliminate the debt in 2015. The resiliency of this tribal nation shall continue to be sustainable and self-sufficient. Our commitment to fund a 7 generations account can ensure a promise, just as our grandfathers had promised us. Congratulate each other with hugs and grandfather smiles. Mishomis, Sho Miigwen.
In the early 70s, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I come down through here in my 60 Chevy, and I drove through the res. I knew I was Potawatomi, and I knew this is where it was located, so come down here looking for Indians, and I seen a bunch of little kids. I drove through the res not even knowing I'd been through it. It was so small then. Dirt road, few houses.
Some of the houses were literally shacks, and I don't believe there was any new homes whatsoever here, and healthcare services were not there.
The tribe, as a child, we were poor, but there was a lot of love in our families, and we always had a lot of fun out here. And going to school, we were looked up as true Native Americans.
Today, the federal government is establishing a formal relationship with an Indian tribe, the Huron Potawatomi, Inc., also known as the Nadawasipi Huron Potawatomi Band of the Pine Creek Indian Reservation near Athens, Michigan. This is a band with an unbroken history that can be traced to the 18th century. This is a band whose leaders signed numerous treaties with the federal government. This is a band which has maintained a Michigan State reservation since 1842. Huron Potawatomi, Inc. has always been an Indian tribe. We are officially recognizing that fact. The Bureau of Indian Affairs is proud and happy that Huron Potawatomi is today joining the list of federally acknowledged American Indian tribes.
This started way back when my grandfather started working on treaties that were available for us. I remember former tribal chairs that had worked for the same goal that we did as a present council at that time. And it was a day of reckoning, a day of greatness for our tribe.
Everybody remembers how our people lived out here, and we just wanted to see things better. People were poor out here. Our families were, people worked. You know, they worked their 40-hour jobs and then they'd come here and do work.
We did it on our own time. Did a lot of that stuff, and then I got hired in at GM, so I was kind of driving back and forth, trying to do my duty, get back to Lansing, go to work, and then go back home before I moved up here. So I was doing all that driving.
They wanted to bring housing here, to bring health services, to bring different programs. So they kept on working.
This was our reservation. It was known as Indian Town to us. It was waterlands. My dad used to come out here and get turtles. He'd come out here and get herbs and stuff, sweet grass for medicinal purposes. It was gravel roads. It was not in any way, shape, or form resembled how it was today, but it was always spiritual to us, and it was always sacred land to us. And this is where I was raised. This was my home, and this is where my grandfathers came from. My father raised us to be proud of who we are at all times. If we didn't, we had to answer to him. And that's what my heritage and a lot of the association with the elders out here has given me as a tribal elder now.
Tribal sovereignty is definitely, that's why it's important for tribes to have their language and culture programs, because truly that's where tribal sovereignty sits within our culture, within our belief systems. That is truly why we are eligible for the programs that we are today, because we're Indian people, because we have our own languages, we have our own belief systems. I think it's important, and hopefully we don't lose sense of who we are.
The U.S. Department of the Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs Acknowledgement. Notice is hereby given that the United States Department of the Interior acknowledges that Huron-Potawatomi, Inc. exists as a tribe of American Indians within the meaning of federal law. December 19th, 1995. I will sign this. Ada E. Deer, Assistant Secretary, Indian Affairs, and this will be witnessed then by Congressman Dale Kildee as a member of the Congress, and Michael Anderson, the Deputy Assistant Secretary.
This is a joyous day for the Huron-Potawatomis, but a joyous day for mankind because it's a day of justice. What we're doing today is recognizing the truth, recognizing reality, recognizing your sovereignty. Today, we recognize that sovereignty. Your sovereignty is more precious than gold. Don't let anyone try to take it away from you or weaken it. Guard your sovereignty.
The main thing was to prove that we were a tribe, that we lived together as a tribe, that we done things together as a tribe, and that was the main thing that we had to do, is to prove that we were a cognizant group of people that we could call Native American tribes.
What that recognition does, again, is reestablish that government-to-government relationship. It reaffirms the rights this tribe has as a sovereign that are reserved in the treaties that the tribe's political leadership made with the federal government in the past. And among those rights are the right of, again, self-government, the right to make this community's own decisions in terms of what kind of economic development the community wants to provide, what sort of healthcare system, provide for the education of their people, provide housing for their people, meet all their needs, and build and rebuild a physical community here in Michigan.
I was one of the members that went along when we got federally recognized. We took a big old charter bus down to Washington, D.C. And it was an exciting moment for all of us, because we've been hearing this for years, that we were going to get federally recognized.
We met out here on the res. 2 buses were parked out on the road facing north. It was still dark out. Some of the people looked like they just woke up. I got on the bus.
And all the seats were filled on the bus, and there were a caravan of cars that followed behind. And we loaded it up. It was, a storm was beginning. We made it out of the storm. When we got to DC that night, there was a terrible blizzard. We stayed in hotel rooms. Sometimes there were 5 and 6 of us to a room, but we didn't mind.
Long story short, we got into the rooms that we had to go through, and we took like a tour of the White House and all this other type of stuff. And we had the final recognition, signed the papers, sang some songs, and it was a really big day.
Leaving the reservation, I didn't necessarily know, probably fully understood what being federally recognized was until I got there. And the next day we woke up and we went to the ceremony signing, getting into the building, and then kind of like waiting around for it to actually start. It started really sinking in what that really meant to be federally recognized. All of the long hours that were put into this process that started 20 plus years before that, as far as technology is concerned, but it started way before that. And getting there, and then ate a deer, getting up speaking, and then when our tribal council people each got up and spoke, what that meant to them. And that's when it got really emotional. I have never, my uncle was on tribal council at the time, Amos Day Jr., and I've never seen him be emotional. He's always been so stoic, which I admired about him. And he broke down, and that's literally when it kicked in, what it meant to be federally recognized. The struggles that he and the rest of my family went through on the reservation, what they did not have, what they endured. And that's when I got it, what federally recognized, what that meant for our nation. And as the day went on, we celebrated that night with dinner, and all the people involved, from the attorneys to Dale Kildee, who was very instrumental in getting us to that point, had a nice ceremony. And then the next day, they put together a group of tours for us to do throughout Washington. Many of us either had never been out of the state, let alone to DC. So they went all out. We got to see Hillary Clinton's office. We played around in there a lot. And then the most important part of our tour, and what helped shaped my career working for the NHBPI Nation, is going to the treaty room. Walking into that room, you literally felt everything that was given up on those pieces of paper. And most of them, all of them, didn't have names on them. They had the big X, because of course our people could not read or write English. You felt everything that was contained in those treaties, whether it was giving up fishing, hunting, land, and let's just say there wasn't a dry eye in that room, even the men. And being in that room, not only did I understand the struggle, the fight that not only our nation had to go through to get federally recognized, but all of the nations in the country, the entire country. And to also those leaders that had so much wisdom and foresight to, by placing that X, they were giving up lands, but they were also making sure that the future generations would be taken care of by signing their name, by putting their X on that paper. Whether it's Indian Health Services or housing grants, by them signing that, we truly just do not understand what they went through by just putting their X on that piece of paper. And after leaving that room, I decided that was career shaping for me. I decided I didn't care what I was going to do, but I was going to do something for my nation.
Yeah, actually, I just remember feeling kind of stunned or in shock that this long dream had actually been accomplished. regardless of things that have happened that were for the benefit of the tribe or things that didn't work out. Everybody was resilient on a vision, and because of that, we were able to see through the fog and accomplish our goals still. 7 generations is a philosophical approach about sustainability. So that way, if you're going to do something, hopefully that it's for the benefit of the tribal nation and the community, that it's sustainable through the 7 generations concept and the philosophies of it.
20 years from now, I hope that, hopefully one of my goals, I work with the Language and Culture program, and I hope that in 20 years we'll be practicing the original ways of our people through song and dance and through ceremonies, and also recreating speakers, revitalizing language and culture within our people now. And of course, in 20 years, I can see we're already doing that now, is more land acquisition, reclaiming the land that was originally ours from the beginning.
We've got our Economic Development Board, and they're just, you know, they're new, but they have a lot of great ideas. And I think that's going to be huge for us, getting into other businesses, again, employing our tribal members and training them in some fields that are going to help continue the income into the government to keep all of our programs going. And it's not just for the next 7 generations, it's for the 7 after that and the 7 after that. And I'm very excited that that's going to just continue. Both of my kids have benefited just amazing from the tribe with education and helping them get an education. And, you know, both of them give back. You know, they want to give back to the tribe. They want to help the tribe continue to move forward and prosper. So it is. I feel very blessed. My children are blessed to be part of this tribe and moving forward, and my grandchildren, if and when, and great-grandchildren, they're all going to benefit from the hard work that everyone's done before me and even years and years ago.
Well, the federal recognition, I really didn't understand when it happened what it really meant, but the importance of that now really sinks in, you know, with the grant opportunities, the housing opportunities, you're recognized as a sovereign nation, and to be able to do things that you wouldn't be able to do without being federally recognized. I feel very fortunate and very proud of all those members and all the leaders that's come before me, because without all of them, none of that would have ever happened.
I see higher education among our youth, and this is the path that we started out, that we wanted to make for them, so it would be easier financially. And if there were special needs for different families and children, that's what we were working for. And as the years go on and as more tribal council, they'll be thinking of things to add to what our goals were.
When I think of where our tribe is headed in the future, I think of economic growth. Our federal recognition has allowed us to open up a casino, and with that we're being smart with that money, and we are investing back into our tribe to create Wasebek, our development company. And with that, we are seeing education reform, which for a youth like myself means a lot.
First and foremost, that we have to pay attention to our youth when they're born on that very first day, and making sure that they have healthy lifestyles, making sure that they're brought up knowing about the tribes and its social culture is going to be very important. So that way, you know, there's always connectivity, because they're going to be making some very difficult decisions. And we want to be there and support them through their endeavors and see that they can accomplish those goals.
I hope the younger children in this tribe realize that it took a lot to get to this point, and that they always remember where we've been, learn our culture, learn our history, learn about our language, learn about their ancestors that they lineally descend from, because I don't want this to go away. And if they don't take forward within their mind the struggles that we've been through and the sacrifices that have been made, and it could be very easily lost. Everything, the history, the language, the success, everything. So I just want them to learn that they need to remember where we came from.
The remarkable advances that we've had and all the benefits to our tribal members have just been amazing. I would never even imagined it being as good as it is. And moving forward now with the Economic Development Board, the addition of all the new property that we have, it's just gonna nothing but better. It's gonna get nothing but better. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see how far we can go with our tribe.